The question regarding surround and Atmos and how we're routed so that we can use analog gear, we're actually all digital in those formats. In discrete audio surround or object audio Atmos, it's a digital chain that mimics our analog chain, and it was developed over the course of a year to really come as close as possible to our analog chain.
So this is a great question. How do you achieve loudness when loudness is called for without sounding overly processed? And the real answer is it's very difficult to do. Every mix is mixed for a loudness potential, and that has to do with the baked-in dynamic range of your mix. And your mixing decisions and your balances all have to do with that, including the arrangement, including how you decide what elements in your mix you're going to be blending together in your mix and how far that reaches. Because if you have this amount of dynamic range musically, and you decrease that dynamic range in mastering, hopefully in a musical way, there's a point of diminishing returns before you have to really start working things hard. And when you start working things hard, you start hearing that. And you never want to hear the processing before the music. You never want to hear the phone ring in the studio when you're trying to work.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is limiting and attack and release times. Can it ruin a song if immaturely used? Those are the specific words of the question. Yes, absolutely. Compression and or limiting should only ever be used if needed, and a light touch if so. You don't want to distort the image of somebody's mix, the vision of their mix. It comes in the way that they visualized it, and everything we do is to bloom it out and make it better than what came in. So only a light touch, and absolutely it can ruin music, and it shouldn't be used if not needed. It should be thought of, needed, and you grab the tools you need.
So do we use analog equipment in our immersive mastering process? And currently, no. And I don't know that we will. The reason being is you can have up to 128 objects in Dolby Atmos, which would mean that you would need up to 128 analog signal paths to properly, if you wanted cloned global processing, you'd have to have that at your disposal. Not only that, you would also have to have a way to have all your analog processes sidechain off one singular thing in order to maintain correlation of your mix. Because in immersive formats, there is no bus. And when you have a bus, it allows you to put processing on the channels itself. When you have the absence of a bus, there's nothing to put the processing on. You have to put processing on everything. And when you put processing on everything, it's reacting to whatever it sees. And if it sees something different on this channel than this channel, you'll have a loss of correlation. A vocal could be moving like this, and a kick drum could be moving like this. So the more you end up introducing, the more correlation you'll lose. The solution to this is to have all of your dynamic processes trigger off one mono fold down, which is the thumbprint representation, one mono fold down of your whole Atmos mix. So the only way to do this eloquently, especially the way we want to do things, is that you have to do it digitally, which is not a problem for us because we have great digital tools and great digital solutions. And if you want to know more about this, you can find a video with Warren Hewart. It talks about the phantom bus process, which is a solution to working with all the benefits of a bus, all the musical benefits of a bus in terms of maintaining correlation with the absence of one. So anybody can do this. It's a very cool technique. It allows us all of the things that we do in this space. And there you have it.
What's the best way to get an apprenticeship is the question. Well, you know, the Recording Academy, NAMM, AES, all have programs and ways that you can become a member of the community. All of the top engineers, producers are at these events, and really being a part of the community, maybe volunteering, and just becoming involved in the community. And it's hard during COVID, but that's, you know, coming to a slow close here. Even Zoom events you can participate in, make your intentions known, and how you can be of service to studios, facilities, individuals like producers and engineers. Just really immerse yourself in that.
Pro Tools 32-bit Headroom does make a difference, but only once you're inside the box. It makes sure that you don't have anything clipping inside of your signal routing in terms of your channels. So you have unlimited headroom. Floating point means it's a floating decimal point. It can literally just move that decimal point over internally, and you will not have any internal distortion. Where it doesn't make a difference is once you convert from using an actual digital to analog converter. At that point, your 24-bit, even if it does handle 32-bit, that part does not make a difference. So the advantages for 32-bit are strictly for internal processes only.